Today on Real Pilates, we're going to talk about reflexes. What exactly are reflexes? So you may think of your eyes suddenly closing if something comes in front of your eyes quickly and unexpectedly and correct. So technically, reflexes are sudden, involuntary action, which does not involve the brain. These pathways, anatomical pathways, have a short term that they're called reflex arc. So your reflex arc. It's a connection between the sensors and the motor neurons, which create a lightning fast reaction without involving the brain. So your peripheral nervous system and your central nervous system, together with your spinal cord, do things to protect you in cases of lightning speed things that come your way. So, one of those is you put your hand in front of your eye like that, your eyes closed. If something is coming at you fast, you may duck and put your hand up and close your eyes. If you hear a loud sound that's really loud, all of a sudden you may have an instinct to duck, depending if you've had training or not. So these quick responses are for your survival. You touch something hot, you jerk your hand away. You pinch yourself, you jerk your hand away. So these are for survival. And these are things that happen without the thought process. It's an involuntary, quick reaction. And reflexes are very important for our daily lives because your reflexes are fundamental for other bigger, complicated things like walking, riding a bicycle, swimming, that require a combination of your reflex with coordination and agility. We're going to talk about all of these things separately as we progress in this month. The idea that I want to relay to you is that reflexes are things that need to be maintained and strengthened. And aging is absolutely no excuse for a decrease in your reflex. Yes, people say, well, as you age, you lose your reflexes. We're going to discuss that. There are a lot of reasons that happens. And as my motto is that I'm 71 this year, is I am fighting aging, kicking and screaming. And this is one of the main reasons why I bring Real Pilates to you. I do Real Pilates every week, and I really want to enhance your life, whether you're young, less young, youngly challenged, as my husband likes to say. It's important that we keep our reflexes sharp and strong. So just think about that. Next time your body does something that protects you, that reflex is something that you can't live without. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I can't live without you. I'll see you in class. Today on Real Pilates, we're going to continue to talk about reflexes. We're going to break down different kinds of reflexes. There are many, but let's just look at the four basic groups. Remember, a reflex is a movement that happens with your peripheral central nervous system, your peripheral nervous system, and your central nervous system, bypassing the brain. But the spine is involved. Ooh, it's a gangbang without the brain. There is what is called the stretch reflex. And the stretch reflex is something, let's say that there's a bright light, your eye will automatically change the tone of that muscle without you thinking of it to protect the retina and the cornea back there, and it will close the eye. There is, thank you for that heart, there is the Golgi reflex, which is a reflex that your tendons have. So your tendons will tighten or relax your muscle to avoid an injury. As you're falling, if you try to hold a stretch, and I always tell you that, when you hold a passive stretch, like put your leg down and just push on it, your Golgi reflex will protect that joint for a certain amount of time. It depends. Some people it's 4 seconds, some people it's 8, some people it's 6 seconds. But after that, that tendon can no longer protect that joint, and now you are putting pressure and damage on that joint unnecessarily. Passive stretching is yesterday. It's like the grandma underwear up to your chin. We don't do it. There's another reflex called the cross extensor limb reflex. And it's naturally, you ever notice if you're, let's say you're standing and you're reaching over, let's say to put the sheet on the bed, you reach over, you may automatically pick up one leg. That is a reflex that happens without you thinking about it for your body to maintain balance. And if you pay attention, if you're extending your right arm, your left leg is the one that's going to want to come up. I use all of these techniques of reflex in the Pilates sessions as I build them. So I secretly, clandestine, the way I've always done Pilates, behind everyone's back. I give them Pilates, but I don't tell them I'm giving them Pilates. Well, now I'm out of the bag, but there's a lot of work that I do within the classes that I don't talk about. But I involve movements to strengthen your reflex time and agility so that you can have a better lifestyle. The other reflex is the withdrawal reflex. So if you touch something hot, you don't even have a second to think about it. Your hand jerks away something sharp and something pinchy. So it's an somatic, automatic is another two kinds of reflex arc. Okay, so within the reflex, there's 4 basic categories, and then they're broken down into 2, which are somatic and automatic. So somatic is skeletal, so like you would jerk your hand away. But then the automatic is more smooth muscle fiber. So if you're choking on something and you gag and you cough, that is a reflex. I hate to say it, but even when you hurl, that is a reflex that if you've ingested something poisonous, your body's going to hurl it out of you to save you from absorbing that toxicity. And it's a good thing, although we hate it. And I cry every time and I tie up my hair. The toilet bowl has to be impeccable. I have to be totally naked. You don't want to know. Okay, so these are also other reflexes. Interesting enough, in babies, newborns, crying is a reflex, and it is a reflex for survival. And babies will cry when they're cold, when they're hungry, when they're scared, and when they're uncomfortable, like wet in their diapers, which can lead to them becoming ill. Interesting enough, it's important for you to know that a lot of premature babies don't have that survival reflex in them yet. So if you have or know of someone that has a premature baby, you have to really keep better eye on those babies because they don't have that natural response to crying. It takes time for them to develop it. Some babies have it, some preemies have it, but some of them don't. So the Pilates will help strengthen and improve your trigger response so that you have a hyper protection level because your reflexes are your protection. Sleeping, eating properly, training are things that are going to help you with your reflexes. The reflex is something that happens, as we say, outside the brain. But remember that reflex, there's going to be a muscle, there's going to be a force, and there's a speed, and then there's a range of which that muscle is going to work to protect your body. So keeping your body fit is going to help your reflexes stay tip-top so that you can stay safe and out of anything that may come flying your way. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you soon for another layer of Real Pilates. Today on Real Pilates, we're going to continue to talk about your reflexes. Remember, reflexes are movements that happen to protect your body from something hot, from something flying at your head. And these reflexes are movements that are performed without the thinking part of your brain. It used to be believed that males had faster reflexes than women. And new science has shown that the reason that males had faster reflexes is because males were more physical than females. They worked out, they did more sports, they went to the gym, they were just more physical out there chopping down the tree and all of that stuff. But today, women are working out, women are taking care of themselves more, women are more involved in sports. And so now the new science has shown that Reflexes are faster in people that have regular routines of exercise. So if you have some old book, or you may look on some old outdated information that says that a male has a faster reflex, that's yesterday's news. The signals that are given, the motor neuron fiber signals that are innervated, are signals that are sent chemically and electronically, so that you can have that quick, fast reaction time. And each single neutron is a single motor unit. So more precise muscles, right? Like the eye, have less motor units per muscle fiber. So let me give you an example. Your eye may have a fiber of the eye may have 10 to 15 motor units per muscle fiber. That the less precise muscle, because an eye is very precise, like the bicep muscle, will have up to 2,000 neurons in each muscle fiber. When you increase the amount of muscle fiber that you have, logically, you're increasing the motor units that you have. So the muscle fiber that you contract simultaneously is what's going to help amp up the number of motor units that you have in that muscle group. Motor units are the only, in the whole central nervous system, motor units are the only neurons that are able to regenerate. Neurogenesis of the neurons is a lifelong process. New neural circuits in the brain are continuously being formed, but use it or lose it. So if you stop exercising, if you stop doing variation of movements at different speeds, under different amounts of pressure and different ranges, like moving your arm all the way up, halfway, quarter way, the top quarter, the middle quarter, the bottom quarter. You see what I'm getting at here? You have to do an infusion of different movements in different ranges to keep those motor units fat and plumped up so that they keep regenerating. And that regeneration has a balance in the brain of how many motor units each muscle have and how many neural circuits there are in the brain. So training the physical body strengthens the mental brain. And this is something that they have discovered just recently, because it used to be that it was just, okay, men have faster reflexes, but now they've really broken it down and studied it. So the theme of it is you need to keep exercising, and as you age, you need to maintain your exercise routine. Cardio is amazing, but you need to do strength training, real Pilates. I'm so glad I found you. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you soon for another layer of real Pilates. Today on Real Pilates, we're going to talk about agility. So you may think of agility as I'm walking down the hallway and I can duck out of the way from someone that's going to run into me. Yes, agility is you're walking and all of a sudden at the last moment you see a little pile of poopy and you're like, oh, you do a quick sidestep to get out of the way from stepping on the poopy. Yes, that is physical agility. The ability to efficiently change direction and execute diverse movements simultaneously. But it goes beyond that. It's about perceptual, cognitive, reaction time. It's perceptual, motor ability. So there's a lot involved with agility. There's a lot of eye involved in agility, so that you can see something, you can judge the speed of something coming at you or you coming at that speed quickly with your peripheral vision, sense where you are in relation to things around you. So as you're falling, you know, I'm going to hold this, I'm going to roll there, right? You think like, no, yeah, agile people can fall, rumble, and tumble and not injure themselves. Mentally, having an agile mind is your adaptability to absorb, assess, and apply information. It's about the ability to be able to handle unexpected events. Oh, it's not 6 people, it's 10 that are coming for dinner, darling. How to deal with unexpected events. It's open mindedness, it's being able to have experimentation, openness, and new ideas on a mental level of an agile mind. It's important to have an agile mind, to stay open minded, as well as an agile body. So, some things that you can do to strengthen the agility of the body. Are you ready? Okay. Standing on one leg, Pilates, check. Close your eyes and try to stand perfectly still with your legs together and see if you can avoid any shifting. 30 seconds. 3-way leg movements. I mean, this sounds like one of my Pilates classes. Standing on one leg and making the other leg go forward. Standing on one leg, making the other leg go to the side. Standing on one leg, making the leg go back. And if you've done any of my mat classes or Wonder Chair classes, you know we also do it on the Cadillac and even on the Reformer. Agility is not just about balance, it's about coordinating different movements at the same time. All of my brain game classes are about that, even though I don't expressly talk about that. Your feet, your feet, your feet are your first line that need to be strengthened for your ability to have agility, as well as the eyes and that center of balance that strengthening of the core that we do here in every class gives you. But your feet, gripping with your feet, stabilizing with your feet, being able to lift the heels, being able to lift the heels as you bend the knee, all the stuff that we do like in every class. Agility is something that we need so that we can keep aging away as we beat it with a stick daily, back, 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 and so that we can have a good lifestyle and be able to step onto a boat from a dock, be able to get up out of a low car, being able to get up on a horse, or play a game of ping pong after you've had a cocktail. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you soon for another layer of Real Pilates. Today on Real Pilates, we're going to talk about coordination. Now, I know a lot of you hate it when I make you do combination of pump one hand and circle the other leg and stuff like that. Coordination is the ability to use different parts of the body together simultaneously, smoothly, and efficiently. Blah. But coordination is more than that. It's about your timing, your orientation, and your manipulation of your body. It is a fundamental, it is critical to have a functional body to have a good life. You need coordination to have a good life. Coordination involves a lot of things at the same time. So there is visual coordination, which someone throws something at you, you can catch it, you can aim, and you can throw something, like lassoing a mosquito. But you know what I'm saying, right? That hand to eye coordination helps the brain stay sharp. There's different coordination that's an audio coordination, that's playing an instrument, right? Or singing bowls, or even just little martini glasses that you run your finger on them and you can have different pitches and you can play 2 or 3 at the same time. You don't have to be a music specialist to be able to use music and sounds in your daily coordination. Singing, of course, humming, doing, a cappella and different keys within the same song is another ability to coordinate through sound. The cerebellum part of your brain is the one that really is the main anchor of your coordination. Your posture and your balance uses every single day your coordinative abilities physically. It's important that we constantly bring the chaos of movement into coordination. So you may be carrying 6 different things. This goes to the hamper, this goes to the garbage can, this goes in my purse. What? We don't do that? Of course we do that. Can you hold stuff in your hands and open a door, close a door, turn a key, use your foot to pick something up, hold the dog, got your groceries, you're on the phone? Right. We're doing it all the time. Coordination is just another day in the salt mines. If you feed your brain good things, it will help that cerebellum part of your brain keep the physical and mental coordination of the body. Juggling is super good. Oh, yes, let's try juggling. The vitamins and foods that are good for the brain are vitamin B12, and vitamin B12 is very good for the nerves. Omega-3 fats, as you know, right, the fatty acids are very, very good for the brain. And antioxidants are important for anti-inflammation, anti-inflammatory of your nerves. And the antioxidants also help with the cellular strength. Regular exercise with variation gives you good mobility. It keeps you strong. It helps your central nervous system. So you may not realize it, but every time we do sequential exercising in the Pilates, we're using the muscle at a different speed, at a different range, at a different force. And that makes the nerves that attach to the muscles and bones thicker and stronger. That nerve is constantly sending a signal to the brain so that your brain knows where that part of the body is and what it's doing. Is it holding something? Is it laying there? And it also sends signals from the brain back to that nerve. So there's a constant relay. It's a two-way street, brain to body, body to brain. So that central nervous system conditioning, which the Pilates does, really helps you with your coordination so that you can have a great lifestyle, and do your hula hoop in your high heels. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you in class. Today on Real Pilates, we're going to continue to talk about coordination, but coordination and aging. So you may hear, yeah, he's losing his coordination, he's getting older. Losing your coordination is not part of aging. It does not have to be. Just like osteoporosis is not part of aging. Losing your hearing does not have to be part of aging. High blood pressure does not have to be part of aging. Being on high cholesterol medicine does not have to be part of aging. I'm on none of that, okay? Heart issues and so on. They're not part of aging. If you choose to do something about it, you can keep all of these things subdued and avoid them. Coordination, hand-to-eye coordination can slow down as you age. Yup, but there's a reason for that. If you have loss of vision, glaucoma, macular degeneration, cataracts, you're not going to have the same vision to be able to coordinate eye-to-hand things on the same level that you did when your vision was better. People that age for some reason have less joy. And that dopamine, which is a feel-good hormone, is so good for the brain, and that helps you with your coordination. So this is why you do my classes and have fun with me. But you need to do things that you love, and you need to be happy, because that helps prevent premature aging. So now, hand-to-eye things. I do that in my mat class with the sock classes, where you have to throw the sock ball hand to hand, and then roll back and do stuff. And I always say I'm really bad at that, but I do it, and I do it as best as I can. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to drop the ball 10 times, but I'm still doing it, the ball of socks. Eye-to-hand things really help you maintain your coordination. So you can play ping pong, handball, if you don't want to play racket sports. If you do things where your hands and arms are out of your field of vision, don't we do that all the time? The hands behind you. All the time I make you do that, because having the sense where your hand is and what it's doing. If you're holding the ball, I say make sure the ball is up or make sure the ball is down, so that you can feel where that hand or that limb is that brain to body coordination that you are sharpening. New skills, pick up a new hobby, right? Like something that you don't do usually. Like maybe you want to take up skeet shooting, or maybe you want to take up ballroom dancing, like one of my good friends Jackie does. She sent me the video. It was awesome. She took up ballroom dancing with her partner, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun, and it really helps develop your coordinative skills. So do something new. I don't know, ride a motorcycle. Well, she already does that. But you know what I'm saying? Find a new little hobby that can challenge you physically and mentally. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I will always challenge you physically and mentally. Count me in. I'll see you in class. Today on Real Pilates, we're going to continue to talk about coordination and ways to prevent losing coordination as you age, or your family member, because we're not aging, but our grandmothers and great grandmothers. All right. Regular exercise is crucial for coordination, even just walking. So you can try walking at variation of speeds, bending the knees more like Groucho Marx. Do you remember? No, you're too young. Bending the knees and really swinging the arms. Try to walk with your hand touching the leg, so it's right arm on right and left on left, and try to walk like that. Your body's going to go like, whoa, and it's going to have to recruit a whole bunch of new different muscles, and it's going to keep your coordination sharp. Lack of regular exercise not only does the muscle bundles and muscle fibers start to decrease, but it really affects the joints. The joints eat through movement. The joints need that synovial fluid to lubricate and to feed them. The amount of synovial fluid will decrease if you do not use the joints enough. And then that decreased synovial fluid increases the rate of friction and starts to break down the joint, so that moving then becomes more uncomfortable, and then you move less without realizing it. You're not going to get up and get that drink of water. You're not going to be so physical using your hands like I do when you talk, because of that's achy and it's painful. So you've got to move. Getting in the water is excellent because of the lymphatic stimulation that you get when you're in water. And yes, that buoyancy puts less stress on the joints. So some of you may say, well, I have a bum knee, or my knee is cranky. Some things in class we modify for you. Great. But getting in the water is an excellent way to help you with those movements of the wrist, the hand, the fingers, the elbows, the shoulders, the knees, all of it. And you don't even have to swim. You can just hold on to a noodle, hopefully in the ocean. But if that's too challenging because it's too wavy, get in a pool. All right. I just don't like the chlorine. And just single leg movements. Stand there holding the edge of the pool, and just one leg out and in 10 times parallel, forward 10 times, back 10 times, holding in your stomach, doing the other leg. That will help increase your joint mobility, which will help your coordination. There is always a solution if you look. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I am your solution for slowing down the aging process. I'll see you in class. Today on Real Pilates, we're going to talk about the JCS system. That's the Joint Coordinate System. And that is a system that is in your body that has been beautifully designed. So that system involves all of the following. Bones come together in a joint with a special design. There are many kinds of joints. I'm not going to bother you with the saddle joint and the ball and socket and the hinge. Okay, bleh, like the elbows and hinge. Okay. But each joint has a special design. And they are supposed to be moving fluidly and dynamically. Most joints of the body move, but not all joints move. Like the suture joints in the skull don't move. Ligament is what attaches bones to other bones, right? Joints meet, there's a ligament. That ligament is not designed to stretch, it's designed to stop a certain range of motion and stabilize that joint. Cartilage is smooth and rubbery. Ooh, right? And that is a substance that protects the bones where they come together. Cartilage. Yum. Cartilage has this thing, these membrane liners that actually produce the synovial fluid. It's getting complicated. You're starting to get sad. If you don't move the joint, your body will produce less synovial fluid for that joint. Tendon, tendon attaches the muscle to the bone. Tendons have a wee bit of elasticity. They'll give a wee bit, and when you over wee bit, you tear. Yeah. So if you keep the muscle strong, that muscle will keep that tendon strong and elastic so that if you do have a little tumble, you'll notice soften, tuck, and roll, and you won't really break anything. If you have a fall, God forbid, you'll just, maybe a little, you lose a little embarrassment, and that's all. So the joint also, the tendons of the joint help control the speed, the intention, the force applied, and the range of motion of that joint. That tendon is controlled from a signal from the brain. So it all works together. And this is called your JCS system. It's your joint coordinate system of the body. All of this works together. You may not think about it or realizing it. So, loss of coordination happens when you start to lose muscle mass. People lose muscle masses for a lot of reasons. As you age, people do less. Your hormones change and you may lose a little bit naturally, but that does not mean that you have to come to the point where you cannot be autonomous and still have strength and agility and beauty just because you've gotten older. We talk about it all the time. There's two basic kinds of muscle fiber, fast twitch and slow twitch. And then there's a combination, right? There's ABBA, so there's really four, but let's just talk about the two. Fast twitch fiber, which is that short explosive speed for short duration of time, that is the kind of fiber that atrophies and those muscle cells will die, sooner than slow twitch fiber. Once you have that muscle fiber that is dead, it's dead, it gets carried away, it becomes more difficult for the body to make new muscle fiber as you get older, because as that muscle fiber is now dead, the joint changes. When the joint changes, then the body says, well, I can't give you more muscle because now that joint has changed. The ligament and the tendon and the synovial fluid and the amount of cartilage has changed. So you've filled your quota. You starting to see where this is going? Most people stop exercising when they really need it their most, in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. People stop because life gets busy, because they get tired, because, I don't have time. You need to make time. If you have less muscle bundle, less fast twitch fiber because now it's died, there are less neuromotor neurons within that muscle. There is less nerve within that part of your body, and it creates a glitch. So, when you have a glitch and the screen skips, or when you're away from the range and can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And there's that bald spot. That's what starts to happen in the body when you start to lose the muscle fiber. Just a little bit of muscle fiber dies here, a little bit dies there. So now you're not moving fluidly anymore. Now your coordination is reduced. You become more spastic in the movements, and your balance becomes more challenged, and you are more easily prone to having a fall that you ought not to have had you stuck with doing regular exercise. So I am here pleading with you. If I win the lottery, I will pay you every month to see, I'll check and see you're doing classes. I will pay you to do classes. I am here for you because it's important that you age well and live fiercely. This is Pilates Master Nikki sending you love and coordination. I'll see you in class. Yes, I will.